Questions regarding scientifically proving God?
I'm just wondering if you can clarify this point. You mentioned earlier that there's an idea that in other places in science that things that are indivisible we take for granted. We trust that they're really there. And I was wondering if what that means indivisible. Is it indivisible to the naked eye? And as such, like, isn't there a time, like sound waves or light, that we can see that it's actually there with certain types of instruments? So if so, then it seems that there really isn't just trusting blindly, because we know through scientific evidence that there is something that the naked eye doesn't see.
Okay, so the question is, are we going, if I can rephrase it, are we going out on a limb in science, trusting in things that are really not observable at all, or are we just extrapolating a little bit from the observations that we really make, because we're really watching our instruments and we understand that there's something that's making this thing move?
Right.
So both things are true. For example, regarding the tablecloth, I touched the tablecloth itself. This item, this is a plastic sheet. I feel a plastic sheet. When I watch an electron, I see a track through a cloud chamber. I take a look at an interference pattern on the screen. I get a click on a counter, and I don't see an electron. An electron is a probability distribution of energy that can behave as matter or as a wave. And the observations are indirect when it comes to little things like that. When I touch plastic, or when I watch this, let's say I watch this object fall, I actually saw the object fall. I inferred that there is a force of gravity between the Earth and this, because the rate of fall is proportional to the two masses, the planet and the object, and an inverse function of the square of the distance. So I'll say that there is a force of attraction between the Earth and that. But the only proof I have is that the object falls. The gravity itself is unseen. So much so that if you assume that gravity is a material force, then what is the medium that carries that material force? So it has to be a massless substance, which they call ether. But that would be absurd, because we have many experiments trying to test if there is an ether. So now they know there's no ether. So now if there's nothing between, then there has to be a wave, like electromagnetism, or something. We could perceive a wave. No waves. No waves, no particles, no mass, and there's a force. So what's the force? Is it a material force? Well, it acts on bodies, so it is a material force. And what material is it? Wave or particle? Neither. Well, we'll find one. And they're looking for centuries. They haven't found it. But we believe it exists, because bodies move. Cause and effect reasoning is proof positive for the scientists that there's something there. I'm not saying that scientists are irrational. I'm saying that when the rational method leaves you with a question, an absurd conclusion that something not material is having a material effect, that's okay. That's okay according to science. Therefore, God is okay. Because he's also not material without form. He's not a wave, he's not a particle. He's beyond the system, making it do stuff. Yes?
I want to ask about the concept of butterfly effect that you just said and relate with the apparatus. I want to know if you think that it's intimate related, and if, let's say, if there's a probability in God's systems or not, or just a miracle is a break of the system, or is just, let's say, inside of the plan, and it's into the probability of God's way of doing things.
Okay, so if I understand the question properly, we're talking about particular divine providence and the random fluctuations which it appears God has made the world in a way that randomness is part of nature. You don't know which leaf is going to fall. You know that in the summer all the leaves will be on. By winter they'll all be off. And somewhere in between all the leaves will fall down. And you can even calculate the percentage of the leaves on average that will fall. but one tree will be bare earlier, another one will be bare later, and next year could be the opposite way around. And regarding any individual leaf, you could study it forever. You won't know exactly when it's going to fall, because the randomness is built into the system, to our eyes. However, just like chaos theory, similar to how chaos theory has discovered a hidden order behind random systems, and when you map them out correctly, you'll see beautiful geometric patterns and in chaotic systems, and you'll be able to make some predictions regarding them. So too, at a higher level, each part of that system is very carefully planned out according to God's system. But it's interactive. Because of the butterfly effect, where the part can affect the whole and affect its dynamic, so too you will not be able to make the prediction, and yet God will be able to insert His will and have His way. So the random system, divine will, interacting with our own actions, creates a kind of a mask for God's presence. And He is infinitely responsive at the same time that we are left guessing as to what that response is.